somewhere else. I'm going to Kibitzing game. Who's playing? These guys. Let's see what's going on between these two. Oh, black is having a tough day. Missing the queen. Right? Oh, man. This queen is not going anywhere soon. Bishop c4, the queen is staying right there. White says, you will not play rook e6. Okay, this game is going to go down very quickly. Pins, followed up with f4. Okay, resignation. Play one more. Let's see one right from the start. Play another. Yes, that one ran smoothly. Okay, let's see now. 22.75 on the white side versus a 26.55. Okay. Kingside Fiend Keto for black. d4 pressure. c3 just to reinforce that. How would you react if c5 is played? Do you push here? Just keep things closed? Could see something very Benko-like with getting that b5 pawn involved. If c5 and d5 expanding with b5 could be coming in. Okay, so how do you break at this center? How will black be doing that? It's going to either be e5 or c5. Okay, and now with c6, it's looking to expand with b5, and I believe that this is the only way to now strike at this pawn. And now, what? Knight to f8? What's going on with knight to f8? Why is that played? With the idea of e5 and knight to e6? It seems a bit awkward. Why not maybe take more of the center on the white side? f4 with the idea of e5. Well, f4 does weaken the e3 square. Maybe the knight can make use of it. Not sure what the... Okay, the queen. Okay, here we go. Black could get crunched in just a second. Okay, so a transition right here. Structural change. The center is now closed. That comes about with tempo. The knight is eyeing e3. The knight gets out of the way, hits the queen. The bishop is there to defend e3, and the knight's now going to be kicked away. White's going to be gaining more space. h3, the knight goes to h6. g4 says the knight will not make use of f5, and we might also see, as a follow-up, f5. If you have it's usually difficult enough to deal with this pawn on e5, but if you get his best friend around right next to him right here on f5, that's going to be a problem. A big problem. White is playing a good game here. Space on both sides of the board. a5, the queen, running pretty short on squares. Probably has to just go to c7. The knight could be making use of c5. g4 I really like. I really like g4 here, just to keep this knight out of f5. Or even the bishop. But okay, you sidestep the threat. And now at least g4 is going to come with tempo, correct? g4, okay, another thing is that it allows this knight to make use of g3 to facilitate this advance. This is the next pawn advance to get in. White is doing well to get that advance in. Another move to maybe have looked into was a5 to prevent this knight from being kicked. Okay, this is a good general plan to run forward with, avoiding exchanges, not taking that knight. White is the side that has more space. This knight, keep in mind, is unprotected, so moving this pawn is dropping the knight, but maybe there's some tactical sequences where it's okay to do that. White takes this knight, black takes this one. E-file has been opened up. Now what? We did just have another structural change right there. So what? Okay, white 2 moves away, or 1 move away from being fully developed, moving the bishop. I guess it really doesn't have a great square. Now this is maybe a possibility. f5 with tempo. Okay, there we go. If knight takes, I don't think that the pawn should take. Okay, now the knight. This is very awkward. So now the f-file opens up. The queen has to be feeling a bit uncomfortable being opposite this rook. Do you just play rook a to e1? Is there enough support for this pawn? There actually isn't, because the queen does not like being the leader on this f-file. It'd be much better if these guys switched roles here. If the rook was in place of the queen and the queen was placed in place of the rook, then this would be defended right now, but now it's not. So how do you defend this? Okay, it's going to be a pawn sack. Who has the safer king? I'm asking a lot of questions because I don't have good answers, really. I'm not sure what to comment on in all these different positions that are springing about, so I guess I know of what questions to be asking, but yeah, okay, so pawn's going to be dropping. I don't see that there's a way to really break at d5. So this bishop, well, I'm bringing that up because this bishop, I don't see it contributing really in any way to harming black. You know, I'm not seeing a check against the king or anything. This knight, I don't think you could really allow it to sit on h4. It's going to be very awkward, is it not? So maybe just take the knight first and then get out of the line of fire. Maybe take the knight and then plant up here. Right here, I think there is the... I don't know that there's a great discovered attack that you could be running with. Okay, now maybe just doing this next, but oh, now this queen is very active. She was there earlier. She's opposite the king. The threat is maybe just to take the knight and then pick off b2. If we do have this bishop for knight exchange, it's an opposite color bishop ending, and I think it's the black bishop who would turn out to be more active. Especially if this queen could take both b and c, and this bishop has a direct shot at d4, that's going to be a problem. How quickly things change in this one, huh? White had a space advantage. Everything seemed to be going really well, and after just a couple pawn moves by black, with maybe some not so best decisions on the white end with the captures, now it's like it's balanced. Okay, b4 defends against that main threat. Black is persistent. a5 is a good strike. Once again threatening to win material. Grabbing the knight. Pig on the 7th. Do not underestimate the strength of that. Whatever you do, do not underestimate that. Okay, so it's also unprotected, so maybe... I don't know. Okay. And everything's defended. The king here, what's that really doing? Why did the king go there? Oh, avoiding something like knight takes and then bishop takes with check. Okay. This is more of a possibility now. Earlier I was saying that the bishop being able to take here I wasn't really seeing, but potential sacrifices are maybe a bit closer to happening. This bishop better not move. h7 is a hit twice. Once directly, another indirectly. If this bishop moves, there's a rook takes bishop, removal of the defender, and now we have black unleashing a tactical shot. Very nice. Very nice. You know what? Another thing to consider was, oh, here we go. Oh, wait a second. The queen could take this rook. Black saw one move ahead right there. Not taking this rook, but instead the one on e7 that was converging on h7. Now it's okay to come back to b4 and apply pressure to d4. Huh. But wait a second. It's still a little bit scary. Okay, there's check here. One accurate move, and this is going to be game over, isn't it? What's this queen up to? Rook right here isn't actually even threatening mate. The queen has everything covered. I think this might have been a mouse slip. It's a little awkward of a mouse slip, but why not... I guess you could just trade everything. Okay, we also have a time advantage as well on the black side. Trade queens. There's no checks on this rank. There's no checks on this file. Keeping the queen on this diagonal, keeping this rook right here, really stops this queen from causing black any problems. So now I guess just doubling up here. Could sack the rook. Oh, this is game over right here. That's clean enough. The queen moves, the bishop is dead. There's not even a... It's not even going to be just sacking everything to get this bishop and queen off the board. That's just going to be game over. I believe white is just letting the clock tick away. And I believe so. Yes, forfeits by disconnection. Oh, they got disconnected. Okay, nevertheless, they were still beat there objectively. Interesting game.